Enzo, how important is this competition proving for you in keeping your still quite big squad happy and in blooding young players among a few of whom have come along for this trip as well?
No, yeah, it's important competition. First of all, it's European competition, so it's very important. And the main reason is because it's a competition, so this is the reason why it's important. But then, since we start, we try to share minutes with all the squad. In some games, we also use some young players, and we see in this moment it's like this, and hopefully we can continue in that way.
But there will be players like Joao Felix, Christopher Nkunku, and a few others who when they came to Chelsea, they wouldn't have come to Chelsea to play Europa Conference League games. They'll have been wanting to play Premier League games. How do you keep them happy, and how much pressure comes on you? When we get to January, when they might say, "Well, hang on, I'm not really playing."
I also like to be long air, and it's like this. Joao Felix play Premier League game the other day against Leicester, and Christo for sure is going to play Premier League game. But we have many players. We try to share minutes with all of them. The intention, the target is to keep them, all of them, happy, even knowing that sometimes it's not possible. And now it's not the moment or the time to think about January. We are still end of November. We have still many games, especially in December, and then we see.
Because there have been suggestions, specifically with Christopher, that he is unhappy with his amount of game time. Has he expressed that to you? Is that something he said?
No, at all. I spoke with Christo days ago. He didn't say that he's not happy. For sure, he would like to play more minutes, but him, like many players. But as I said, we have so many games, especially now in December. The other day, the last game against Leicester, Joao Felix play, Enzo play, Benoit Badiashile play. So it's not. I said since we start that for me there are not two squads. The squad is only one, and the ones that they play Premier League they can play in Conference, and the one that they play Conference they can play in Premier League. And the proof has been against Leicester.
Simon.
Hey Enzo, following up on the Christo questions there, would you say then that he's definitely not for sale in January? You want to keep him because obviously he's an important part of your squad?
Absolutely, yes.
And what is it about him that you want to keep? I know it's stating the obvious, but what is it about him that you want to keep involved with Chelsea?
No, the problem with Chris, not the problem. It's the same issue and the same thing we mentioned many times about Joao. If you play with Cole, if you play with Joao, if you play with Christo, if you play with Noni, if you play with Jadon, who is defending? Because their skills, their strength is not defending, it's to attack. We love them, we want them, but also we need balance. And the last game we try with Joao and Cole together. Hopefully next game or soon we can try Christo and Cole, Christo and Joao, for sure. And the reason why is because we have so many games. But I completely want Christo to stay with us. I don't have any idea to allow him to go in January.
And what qualities do you like about him? Can you sort of embellish and sort of what you particularly like that he brings that's different from perhaps other players you have?
Probably the best moment from Christo with us has been in pre-season. That for me he was playing in his position, that is as a number 10, between the striker, between the line. Then since we start, he's playing as a 9 with us. He's playing against City, the first Premier League game he played from the start as a winger. Knowing that is not his position, the best position, we know that Christo's best position is between the line as a 10, but Cole is playing there. And we are not going to play many games with Cole and Christo, or with Cole and Joao. We played the other day. But you need balance. And Leicester plan won't be the same than Aston Villa plan. Or maybe yes, we don't know, because now we are focused on this game. But they are all fantastic players. They are all gonna play games, no doubt. But not every game.
And last one for me, and going back to Reece, is the hardest thing for Reece, given the amount of hamstring injuries he's had, that it doesn't play on his mind it must be very difficult if you've had so many hamstring injuries. That thought of, is it going to happen again? Is that one of the things he has to conquer, the sort of the mental battle?
But it's something that he has to fight with that. In terms of, it's normal when you get injury always in the same leg or in the same muscle, you become a little bit afraid. It's normal on that. But also in the same time, you have to think that it's his profession, is try to run, try to play, and you can get injury. Unfortunately, it's repeating, but hopefully we can find the solution soon.
Bobby.
Hello, Enzo. Just checking how Pedro Neto and Malo Gusto are, because they both missed the weekend. Will they be ready for Aston Villa at the weekend?
Yes, I think so. Both they train with us. We don't take any risk for tomorrow game, but I think that both they can be available for Sunday game.
And we will finish with Peter.
Hi Enzo, just to follow up on that point and about Reece as well. When you came into the club and you have a player like Reece James who can do what he can do and be, he's one of the top right backs in Europe, him having a setback, does that change how you plan your team tactically? I mean, we saw that against Leicester where we saw Wesley come to right back, you saw Mark go up much wider. Are you having to rethink a little bit about how you're setting up your team? Because I imagine that having someone like Reece in the team is incredibly influential if you have him.
No, yeah, for sure, if we have him, we are more happy because we can use him and he can help us in different way. But unfortunately, he's not with us. As I said, hopefully we can have him very soon, and we don't have a doubt that when he played from the start or he was from the bench, he always help us. I don't know, Newcastle game at home, for instance, or even different game. But now he's injured, and I think the best thing we can do as a staff, and you and us together, is don't talk too much about Reece, because more we speak about him, more pressure we put on him. It's a football player that is injured, no more than that. He's injured many times, yes, but there are more players that unfortunately they get injured many times. But the more you ask, the more I answer, and the more we put pressure on him. And he doesn't need that. He needs to be relaxed, recovery. When he's fit, try to play, don't get injured again, enjoy, because otherwise become complicated, and that's it.
And just lastly, are you enjoying the challenge of this competition in terms of facing teams like Heidenheim, which I think ordinarily for a club like Chelsea wouldn't have the chance to face?
Oh, yeah, I enjoy every game, knowing that probably in this competition, because we are there, every club, every team try to make the big game, because it's the big game. So the problem for us, or the issue for us, can be that if we are not ready mentally and we underestimate some team, they can hurt us. So we need to be ready.
Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you.
coach. So if you just want to raise your hand if you've got a question, and we'll try and get around as many of you as we can. Who would like to start?
How are you?
Great, how are you?
How have you been enjoying getting the opportunity in the different competitions? You know, not always the Premier League. How have you been trying to embrace them and the opportunities coming your way?
Yeah, that's the game of football at the end of the day. Everybody enjoys playing football, so any games that you do manage to get into, you just go out there to, one, enjoy, and two, perform and get the best result for the club.
You're actually, even though you're only 27, you're one of the oldest guys in the squad. Have you been kind of tasked with using that to kind of help all the younger guys that are surrounding you by Enzo and just help the club in that way?
I wouldn't say tasked. It's an amazing responsibility to be able to come into the club and lead the boys. Really, it's something that I've always done, no matter what club I've been at, no matter what my age. My leadership qualities is definitely one of my strengths. So to come here and do the same for this young group of boys is just an honour, really.
Do you back yourself when you're playing? Like, say you start tomorrow, do you back yourself to impress enough to make Enzo think this guy can be helping me in the Premier League as well, and possibly even starting?
Yeah, of course. I have full belief in my abilities, and I'm 100% sure everybody else does in the squad. So yeah, that is definitely something that we look to try to do in every single game.
With the younger players, if there's one key bit of advice you'd give to some of these young guys who some may even make their debuts tomorrow, one in particular, what would be one bit of advice you'd give to players of that age who are like 16, 17 years old?
Yeah, 16, 17 is very young. We don't have any 16, 17-year-olds. Maybe Shimmy, I'm not too sure on his age. But yeah, he's a top talent, and hopefully he gets onto the pitch tomorrow and impresses. But for me, it'll just be go out and play free and do what he does, because that's where you play best, when you're able to play free with no pressure.
For those of us who haven't seen him play much, if at all, what is it that he does? What's Shimmy's? What should we expect if we do see him, and what kind of problems does he give you in training, for instance?
Yeah, to be honest, I've not seen him play many games, but in training he has great ability with the ball at his feet, and from what I've heard, he's able to score a lot of goals, which is obviously an amazing quality to have in a striker, because it's very tough to have an out-and-out striker that scores many goals like that. So Shimmy is hopefully one of the players that can do that for us.
Hey Tosin, does it make Chelsea's achievement of being in the top four right now all the more impressive that Chelsea, by some margin, are the youngest average age squad
Only
in
what,
the
sorry?
league? Chelsea's the youngest average age team squad in the league. Does it make the achievement all the more impressive that I think it's about average age of 23 roughly?
Yeah, obviously that's a very young. We've got a very young squad, but as you can see, we're pushing, and we're here to compete with everybody in the league, and we don't really look at our age. We just go out there no matter what, and go out there and believe that we're able to get the performances in and get the results in without looking at that age.
Is it inevitable that whilst you guys want to achieve things this season, that there also needs to be a bit of patience, or is Chelsea a club where it doesn't matter how old you are, you can't be patient, you've got to succeed now?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, really. Obviously, we've just started with this new manager, and we're still learning things and getting used to things. So yeah, there is a bit of patience on that end. But at the end of the day, this is Chelsea Football Club. The demand is high, and again, we all know it in the change room that we have to go out and perform every single training session, every single match day. We're out there to perform and get results for the football club.
Yeah, because that's something that Enzo sort of told us sort of very early on, that there was that sort of warning made that just because you don't play at the weekend, don't sort of take it for granted that you'll be playing on a Thursday either. So is that sort of like what he's drilling to you as well? We've been told it, but you're fully aware that's the message he's sending, that you can't rest on your laurels, you can't expect just to play this competition either.
Yeah, definitely. It's a competition that we're taking very seriously, and literally there's no days you can switch off. You have to perform every single day. Even this month we've got a run of 9-10 games, so we really have no time to switch off. Every single day we've got to be on it, whether it's training sessions, whether it's recovery for the games. We just got to make sure we're absolutely on it, because this is a big festive period with a lot of games, and again, we're here to get results.
And did you do anything to celebrate your first goal? Anything?
No,
go out for dinner? Go out, hit London?
No, just straight recovery and on to the next one.
Hi, Tosin. Good to see you. You spent 18 years of your career at City. I was wondering if you're enjoying being back in a sort of a big club environment and the challenge and the competition that comes with that.
Yeah, most definitely. Like you just said, I was at Man City for 18 years from the age of 5, which wasn't always a big club, by the way. I definitely saw the change in the club with the new ownership. Managed to stay at a big club for that amount of time and moved on. But my aim was always to get back to a top club, which is Chelsea, one of the biggest in the world. So it's amazing to be here.
Obviously, we're still a third of the way through the season of your first season at Chelsea. But do you see the club going in that direction, in that moving towards what the levels that you've seen before at City here? Do you see Chelsea reaching that?
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's clear to see even the growth from the start of the season till now has been tremendous, and we all still feel there's so much more we can give, so much more we can achieve together, and we're growing every single day, getting better and better. So most definitely that we can get to the heights that the top clubs have in recent years.
And just lastly, what challenges have you set for yourself at the moment? What's your targets right now in a Chelsea shirt?
Well, I'm enjoying my football. I'm biding my time. Obviously, I've not played as many games in the Premier League, but I've still played a lot of minutes, whether it's been Europa or it has been the Premier League. So I've got a lot of targets, but yeah, I'm here to focus and push the boys on as well.